All right, we have another example here where we're turning fractions into these odds or ratios, something to something to something, right? Using that colon symbol. And if you just remember that fractions and colons are essentially the same idea, I think we should be able to get through this. So you've got these three friends, Tristan, Christina, and Dustin, on a road trip, and they're dividing up the drive. Looks like Tristan took a pretty big portion. He did 2/5. Christina did 1/10, and Dustin did the rest. So before I can say what the ratio is of Tristan to Christina to Dustin, before I can even do that, I need to know how far Dustin drove. Note that we don't know how far the trip is. It's going to turn out to not matter. But just pretend the trip was 1 mile. All right, it's a 1 mile long trip, and they traded several times during that mile. It's going to make the fractions easier. So if Tristan drove 2/5, Christina drove 1/10, Dustin drove the rest, well, the rest is just the 1 mile minus Tristan's portion minus Christina's portion. Okay, well, we need common denominators to do this subtraction. So that's 10 over 10 minus 4 over 10 minus 1 over 10. 10 minus 4 minus 1, that's just 5. And we can simplify this. And look at that. Dustin drove half the trip. Now, I said it didn't matter if it was 1 mile or 10 miles or whatever. Let's just first set up that ratio of Tristan to Christina to Dustin. Okay, so this is Tristan to Christina to Dustin. So we're just going to put all their fractions in here. Tristan is 2/5. Christina is 1/10. And Dustin is 1/2. Well, that answer is not one of our choices. Okay, what we need to do then is find an equivalent answer. And what you can do, just like with equations or fractions, you can multiply everything by a number. So let's pick a number to multiply everything by. The goal is to turn these into not fractions, right? Because nothing over here is a fraction. Let's multiply it by 10. Okay, I've got a good feeling about 10. 10 is the least common multiple. So 10 times 2/5 is just 4. 10 times 1/10 is just 1. 10 times 1/2 is just 5. Do we see that ratio in here anywhere? I think we got it right here. Okay. Bear in mind, this 4 to 1 to 5 answer is exactly the same as 2/5 to 1/10 to 1/2. It's just less stuff to say. So we see Chris, she didn't really carry much of the weight here. She only drove a little bit. Dustin carried most of the weight. He drove half of the trip, whatever it was. The ratio should be consistent regardless of what these numbers are in here. If I had wanted, I could say it's a 100-mile trip and say Tristan drove 40 miles, Christina only drove 10 miles, and Dustin drove 50. It would be the same percentages.